Panoramas present an unbroken view of a scene to the viewer. Usually, but not necessarily always, they render a complete 360-degree view. This can be useful for numerous uses. Google Street View is a good example of technology making use of panoramas. They can also be used for skyboxes, for example in Blender or in some video games. Panoramas don't always have to be still images, they can be videos as well. These were just a few examples. There are many more uses if you're willing to look for them. Panoramas map a 360-degree view, which effectively takes on the shape of a sphere onto a 2D image. This is not a simple task, since the surface of a sphere is not a rectangle. Therefore, we must have some sort of translation between the two. There are many types of projections that can be used for this, but we will be focusing on the equirectangular projection, as it is the most commonly used. The equirectangular projection is the same commonly used in world maps. The interesting part of this projection is that it conserves the length of the meridians. This also has the effect that all panoramas have a 2:1 ratio, being twice as wide as they are high. The x and y coordinates correspond to yaw and pitch respectively. However, objects that are near to the poles are heavily distorted. Panoramas are sadly only supported by the Cycles renderer, so our first step is switching to it. Since we've learned that our panoramas will have a 2:1 aspect ratio, we will need to set the resolution accordingly. For now I will use 4096 by 2048, but feel free to play around with them. Lastly, we'll need to tell Blender that we want a panorama. Change the type of your camera to panorama, and then the panorama type to equirectangular. Make sure your camera is properly positioned. It is best to set the X rotation to 90 degrees and the Y rotation to 0, so that you're looking straight ahead. The Z rotation isn't particularly important, but it will decide what the center of your panorama is. And that's it. You can now set up your own scene if you don't already have one, like I do, and then simply press on render.